Hello there, it's Jeff Shaggers for MetJeffUK.com, and today is the 28th of December. I hope you all had a good Christmas, despite the weather. I know we did, and our tree is still standing just in our back garden. But there's still more depressions coming across the Atlantic, so we're keeping our fingers crossed for this one. And indeed, we'll start off with the Met Office charts for Sunday, and let's get them up here. We can see another depression beginning to warm itself up in the Atlantic. This one's going to take a more southerly track, so it's going to cross central northern England and into the North Sea. And so the strongest winds look like being over the Midlands and southern districts, and especially on the western coasts of Ireland and Britain. We could see some gusts approaching 80 miles an hour at times. So this moving east during Sunday and into Monday, clearing the southeast very slowly on Monday, with this high pressure over Germany beginning to slow it down. More depressions winding up in the Atlantic. Indeed, as we go into Tuesday, Christmas Eve, we got another front which is coming in and crossing the country, bringing more strong winds, not quite so strong as the last ones. Top winds around about 50 miles an hour, but much colder air coming in behind as well, with troughs coming in mixed in with this colder air, giving some longer periods of rain or even snow over the high ground, and certainly hail and thunder at times as well. So that's one to watch out. Going further ahead into to Wednesday, the 1st of January 2014, and basically we got more of a southerly track coming in, so the air slightly less cold than it was, but these troughs can be much more thundery than they have been previous. And generally speaking, the whole thing is beginning to start to come more and more south as we go through, with highs beginning to build to the north. Indeed, if we look at the GFS, this is a 500 millibar for Saturday the 11th, and we can see this general trend of high pressure beginning to build to the west and to the east, and a pool of cold air over the British Isles as we go into that weekend. So as you can see, we've got low pressure beginning to move further south than usual, and this is tending to bring in much colder air as we go through time, and with the highs to the west and highs to the east, this is gradually going to encourage much colder air from the Arctic to filter south. And indeed, if we go to the GEM, which is the American model, it's got this trend of colder air beginning to push with higher than normal heights to the north of the country. And indeed, if you remember what I was saying before, with this jet stream beginning to sort of meander that way, if you look at my long range forecast from the 7th of December, I can show it, there you are. I'll give you that sort of the same sort of hint that we would get the jet stream in that sort of pattern, with lows moving from the northwest, northeastern Canada, moving southeast across the country, bringing all this wind and rain, and eventually colder air beginning to sort of move in across the country from the east as we go through, you see. And this is what's beginning to happen now. So indeed, as we go to back to the GEM, we can see this beginning to work with generally speaking, if I get rid of this a minute, the jet stream more or less taking that sort of a a pattern with the lows more or less following that line, and higher the normal heights beginning to build up to the north. So I still believe we've got a lot of winter still to come, and getting much colder as we go into the month of January. Indeed, we could be in for quite a lot of snow, I think, around about the second week of January onwards. Well, I wish you all anyway a happy new year, and look forward to more forecasts in 2014. But remember, whatever your weather, enjoy it.